When I was at school, we were in from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, so that was 7 hours by 5 days a week, 35 hours. Now they're talking about a minimum of 32 and a half hours or so. My point is, why isn't everybody doing 35 hours? Why were we doing 35 hours?
Well, you were at a good school, weren't you?
Yeah, but who determines it? It is strange. Do you ever drive round in the afternoon and you see kids at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in uniforms, and you always ask yourself, why are they going home for? What's
I do think that all the time. Keep them in school, tire them out and send them home when they're educated, and don't make me do it all.
Yeah. I was at school till 7 p.m. until I was 11.
Was that homework club and things like that? Or?
Yeah, we stayed at school for dinner and homework.
Right.
But, you know, there's lots of different ways to run a school system. In America, actually, everyone finishes at 2, but that's because they're usually at school at 7:30, which is a bit crazy. I agree with you. We need more hours in school, and including, you know, actually recognising that so many parents they can't possibly be at school pickup at 3:30 or 3 o'clock. Yeah. Lots of schools reduced their hours or shuffled their hours around during the pandemic in order to be able to manage staggered entry, staggered departure. You know, our schools started stopping at 1 on a Friday, which was extremely annoying, as you can imagine. But the pressure from the centre, the problem with it is that it puts a lot of pressure on schools, who then are facing lots of financial pressures, inflation, the cost of teachers, and they're not being supported to fund the staff to enable them to stay open later. So I think that's the key thing. There's a bit of a danger that just becomes the education secretary pointing and shouting at head teachers instead of empowering them to put schools at the kind of the heart.
We agree with that. And the thing that I always have this thing about parents. Parents work hard enough without having to do homework in the evening, and I think there should be homework clubs. They should keep them in to 5 o'clock or whatever it is. They do their homework, and then when they go home, they are home. That would be my view, and
some schools do that. I mean, some schools actually have that. But I think that Polly got the point on the head there, which was that it is this whole childcare issue. It's parents who have to break off a working day to go and pick children up at 3:30. Why can't the day be staggered so they're picking them up 5:30? Or 6 o'clock. And as you say, no homework at the end of it.
None.
You've done your working day, just like you would if you're actually out in the real world.
I don't necessarily think that the school day should be extended to accommodate childcare issues. I do understand it's a challenge, and trust me, I find it a problem, but I do accept that children need more hours to get better learning in there. So many kids, my son included, year 1, are massively behind on where they should be because they lost out on a lot of the cognitive things and handwriting and whatever it was
but also
during the lockdown.
Extracurritor sports
and drama. Yeah, I don't want to be having to ferry them off to swimming and this and that. I wish they would do all of that for us. But I don't think it should be about childcare. I don't think school should be about
it. But it is part of the equation, isn't it? And what I'm talking about is you extend the school day in a way that makes it more like the work day.
Polly's point, I think, as well, that has to be resourced. There's no point just making teachers do more for less.